Hello, everyone. Hi, good people. How are you? This is Ifama Odunlami, immigration attorney from the Odunlami law firm in Cedar Knolls, New Jersey. And I have a couple of topics, but I just wanted to talk about the diversity lottery and give you some breaking news. So tune in. How's everyone doing? If you come in, please let me know where you are signing in from. I always like to know where people are signing in from. And I will try to take a couple of questions, but I have to be out of here at 3. So hello, hello, hello. Thank you. Hi, Roti Mai. How are you? So guys, I first of all, let me put this public service announcement out. We noticed that somebody has been trying to duplicate fraudulently our Instagram account. Somebody is using our name, our likeness, and our image, and trying to, I guess, get people to pay them money. So you want to be careful when you interact with these people. Our Instagram account is verified, which means it has that blue check. So when you see that account, that's the only account that belongs to us. And right now, we're no longer responding to clients through DMs because we want you to know that if anybody contacts you through a DM, it's not us. And it's kind of easy to see the fake accounts because you can tell it was just opened. It's like no followers, no content. So really, just it's really easy to know that they're not a real account. So don't let yourself fall victim. And if you have fallen victim, please report that account. Okay, so thank you guys for joining me. And again, I want to talk about the diversity visa lottery because this is another area where people get scammed, right? So my information to you today is basically to give you a few do's and don'ts, and just so that um, you know what to do, where to get your information, and you don't fall prey to scammers because honestly, this is the time for them. Every time there's a diversity visa lottery application going on, you have all these visa agents popping out from nowhere. So let's start by talking about the 2025 Diversity Visa Lottery. It started already October 4th, 2023. You can start the application process at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time, and it goes up until November 7th, 2020. November 7, 2023 at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. So you must submit your electronic application. And I've put the information um, on the page so that you know where to go. But I'm gonna tell you what it is now. Go to the travel.state website. I'm gonna say it now. It's travel.state.gov. Go there, put in diversity visa, and it will take you to the 2025 diversity visa. And then there's a page there for applications. If you want to go straight to the applications, you can go to dvprogram.state.gov. So the diversity visa lottery program basically is a program that it's a way of getting your green card. So if you're a qualified country, really nothing to stop you. Go ahead and apply. Now, there are countries that are not qualified, and we've gotten so many DMs, so many messages asking if they're qualified. So I'm going to read those countries to you that are not qualified, and then I'm going to go into the do's and don'ts of the application process itself. Some of them because I just want to highlight the parts that I'm aware of. Lutanda, Nigeria is not a qualified country, not a qualified country. So let me read out the other countries that are not qualified. Bangladesh is not qualified. Brazil is not qualified. Canada is not qualified. The People's Republic of China, including mainland and Hong Kong born, not qualified. Colombia, not qualified. Dominican Republic, not qualified. El Salvador, not qualified. Haiti, not qualified. Honduras, not qualified. India, not qualified. Jamaica, not qualified. Mexico, not qualified. Nigeria, not qualified. Pakistan, not qualified. Philippines, not qualified. Republic of Korea, South Korea, not qualified. Venezuela, not qualified. Vietnam, not qualified. Now, persons born in Macau and Taiwan are eligible, right? So the instructions are there. The instructions are easy and it is free. So I want to go over certain things for you to know so that you don't fall prey to scammers and so you don't disqualify yourself. These are some of the information you need to know. Number one, the best way to ensure that you're not scammed and disqualified is to go to travel.state.gov, read the instructions for yourself, and follow the instructions. Avoid visa consultants. At this time, there are these visa consultants popping up claiming that they can make it more likely for you to win the visa lottery. Know this, USCIS does not work with this visa scammers. Department of State does not work with these visa agencies. So they cannot increase your chances of getting, of winning the lottery. It is a lottery, okay? So putting false information is not going to increase your chances anymore either. So you want to be honest, because not being honest can get you disqualified, and more than that, can make it impossible for you to ever come into the United States. So fill out the form yourself. Don't submit fake documents. When entering, put in your own email address and make sure you keep your entry confirmation number, because that's how you're going to be able to tell if your application was chosen. Now, it's one entry per person. One entry per person, because if you put more than one entry, you will disqualify yourself before you even get started, right? And the photo that they require should be one that is taken within 6 months of your application. So the last 6 months, right? Now, don't add anybody who is not legally your spouse or legally your child in your application. So another thing I'm going to say is, in the same vein, include all your family members, because what we see here is we see people who apply for the diversity lottery, they get the green card, they come over to the United States, and then when it's time to naturalize, they find out, they say, well, I didn't add this child and that child because the visa consultant said I shouldn't add them. And then it becomes a problem because the misrepresentation can get you deported, right? And if you don't include those children in the naturalization application, they can never get papers through you. So the important thing, the watchword for this diversity visa lottery application is honesty. All right. Don't let anybody convince you to put in fake information. And if somebody is putting this application for you, you want to review it yourself and make sure they put in the right information, because it's not an excuse that I didn't know what they put in there. All right. It's a really easy application. It is free. You should not pay anybody for this. Nobody. We don't even assist anybody in my office, because you can do it yourself. Go on the website dvprogram.state.gov and put in the application yourself. And yes, is Togo eligible? Togo is eligible because Togo is not one of the countries that I called that were not eligible. If you want to get more information, go to the travel.state.gov, and all that information is there. Okay, that's where I'm getting the information from. So go there as well. All right. So now, in other news, Cameroon has been redesignated for TPS, and they have an additional 18 months. So if you are a Cameroonian who's been here since October 5, 2023, you can now apply for TPS. If you already have TPS from Cameroon and you would like to keep your TPS, USCIS must receive your application by December 9, 2023. If you're applying for TPS for the first time, USCIS must receive your TPS application by June 7, 2025. So those are the two breaking news I wanted to talk to you guys about. And so let's get to other topics. If you have any question, somebody says, can I take the picture with my phone for the lottery? Read the instructions. They're very specific about what they want. So I don't know. Read the instructions, okay? Just follow the instructions. Anybody have questions that I can answer while I am here? This month, October, is Domestic Violence Month. And so I just wanted to go over certain types of immigration benefits available to people who have suffered domestic violence, right? So today I'm going to talk about really briefly, because I don't have a lot of time. There's VAWA, Violence Against Women's Act. There's U visa, and there's SJIS. This all have to do with abuse. So let's talk about VAWA, Violence Against Women's Act. This is a way to get a green card for people who are married to U.S. citizens or green card holders and have been abused in the relationship, or they have a U.S. citizen child who's over the age of 21 and who has been abusive to them, or they're a child of a U.S. citizen or a green card holder, which could be stepchild, adopted child, biological child, any of those, and you're under the age of 21 and you've been abused by a U.S. Citizen or green card holder. Now, for that category, you're supposed to file your VAWA application before you turn 21. However, if for some reason you're unable to file it and the reason is connected to the abuse, you get an additional time to the age of 25. Then you can file it. All right. So VAWA is there for victims of domestic violence. Now, you have to be an immediate relative of a U.S. citizen or green card holder to file VAWA. However, if you are in a relationship with somebody, or not even a relationship with, maybe not even a relationship, right, and you have been abused, let's just say maybe you're living with your significant other, and the person is not a U.S. citizen or green card holder, maybe the person's undocumented just like you, right, and they are abusive towards you, and it's a qualifying crime under the U visa. You call the police. You can get a green card even though your abuser is not a U.S. citizen, right? You can get a green card through the U visa, or you come in through the border and the next day, which is you came in unlawfully, but you're in a supermarket and it got held up by at gunpoint, and you were a victim of this, you were a bystander, witnessed the crime, gave police information, or you were a victim, whichever one. You could be on a pathway to getting a green card through the U visa as well, right? So then SJIS, Special Immigrant Juvenile Status. That is for young people under the age of 21 who have been abused, abandoned, or neglected by one parent at least. It doesn't have to be both. And they can get a work permit, they can get their green card through filing special immigrant juvenile status. So before you think that the only way to get your green card is through getting married to a U.S. citizen or having a family member file for you, there's so many other ways of getting a green card. And you should really look to see if you qualify, because you can also get a green card through your employer, right? Or on your own if you have special skills. So there are many different ways to qualify to get legal status in the United States and get a pathway to citizenship. So let me see if there's any questions, and I will answer them quickly. So this month I'm going to do some more. I'm going to talk some more on VAWA, because I get a lot of, like, I talked to somebody a few days ago who said to me, I don't know if I qualify for VAWA because the abuse is not physical. It's just, a lot of control, a lot of, he determines what I eat. I cannot eat what I want to eat. He tells me what I can eat, what to wear. Does not, I've been married for a couple of years now. I have no access to our finances. He wouldn't open a joint account with me. He wouldn't even let me open an account for myself. He doesn't allow me to see my family members. And, that's abuse, right? So you don't think that abuse has to be physical, Don't think you have to be physically abused for you to qualify for VAWA. And in the same vein, you do not need to have a police report. That's not necessary. But in a U visa, it is important to have a police report, because when you file a U visa, there's a form that the police has to, or not just the police, law enforcement has to complete, called the Certificate of Helpfulness. So it's important that you report whatever happens to you to some law enforcement, because they have to complete that form certifying that you have either helped them or you've held yourself as available to assist them if they need your assistance, whether or not they ask you for assistance. So a lot of people come to my office for one consultation there. They come because maybe they have one immigration issue, and I ask a lot of questions, dig down, ask more questions, and then we find out that you actually could qualify for something much better than what you came in for. You can get your green card faster and easier. So it's important that you talk to experienced attorneys who are not just looking to who are not looking to go through the easy path, because sometimes the way to get you a green card may not be the direction you thought you could get. Sometimes you may come in and you might say that you are looking for your spouse to file for you, and then we find out that you came in through the border. So while your spouse may be able to file for you, you're not going to be able to adjust your status without filing a waiver. And then we go through a bunch of questions. We ask you, do you have a family member who is in the military, maybe a spouse, a parent, a child, even the reserves, you may be able to, get something called parole in place, which would allow you to adjust your status even though you came through the border, or you may qualify for VAWA. Maybe there's an abusive relationship in there, in which case it doesn't matter how you came in, because VAWA doesn't care if you came in through the border. So it's important that a very thorough analysis and questioning and evaluation is made of your case before you commit to one pathway. And now another thing is, you don't have to have only one pathway. Your brother could be filing for you, but at the same time, you qualify for different other ways to get your legal status. So let's see if I can get any more questions, and then I'm going to sign off, because I just wanted to just come in real quick and chat with you guys. So Chidi Osuagu says, I have a question. What's the question, Chidi? So this is a really great question. So I am a burning and shining light. I am a Nigerian in the United States. Can I apply? No, you cannot apply. You're not in Nigeria. Nigeria is not a qualifying country. But the reason why I say it's a good question is that people here from qualifying countries who want to know if they can apply. And anybody can apply as long as you're from a qualifying country. But if you're here in the United States and you're undocumented and you have no way of adjusting your status, or you're inadmissible, that would also make you inadmissible for the green card through the lottery. So if you have any inadmissibility issues, you probably want to talk to an attorney. You want to talk to an attorney. So somebody says, what is TPS? So TPS stands for Temporary Protected Status. And basically, certain countries that are going through certain hardships, U.S. immigration, the Department of State, the government will allow them to stay in the United States because there's a lot of turmoil in their country, and they can stay here. They have to be here though already, and they have to have come here within the time that is specified in the TPS designation. And so when they come in here, they can apply for TPS status, which allows them to work and allows them to stay here without fear of being deported. So even if you're in deportation proceedings or you've been ordered deported, you can still apply for TPS. It's typically a temporary measure, right? It doesn't lead to, it's not a pathway to citizenship or a pathway to a green card. It's just a designation that is given to certain countries that are experiencing really, really hard times, could be war or, that kind of stuff. So Kenny Adebo Wale says, can I call you? Definitely, 973-993-1900. And let's see. So Tame Sharon says, I did my interview from January, have not gotten any answer. What can I do? Well, Tame, it depends on what kind of interview you did. If it was a marriage interview, sometimes that takes a while. If it was a naturalization interview, the law says that within 120 days, USCIS needs to give you a decision. And if they haven't, you should write a letter to them asking them why you haven't gotten a response to the interview you did. Now, like I've said to people before, immigration is really backlogged with a lot of stuff. So the one way to get your case moving is to file something called a writ of mandamus. You can start off, conservatively by reaching out to your congressman, sending them letters, doing an e-inquiry. But after you've done all that and it doesn't work, you might want to consider filing a federal lawsuit called a writ. And the one thing a lot of people are afraid of is that there may be consequences when they file. Maybe they'll get denied because they filed, and that is not correct. So if you are really concerned and it's taking a long time, you might want to reach out to an attorney and see if you qualify to file a writ of mandamus, okay? Chidi says, my friend came into the U.S. through the border. He's been here for a few months now. Can he get married? So Chidi, I'm not sure what your question is. Can he get married getting married for the purpose of getting a green card is called a sham marriage. And I've told you guys a lot of times that there are serious, horrible consequences to sham marriages. It's a permanent bar, right? So if he's getting married only for the purpose of getting a green card, that's a no. Now, if he came here and met somebody and is in love, wants to spend his life with this person and wants to get married, he can. But the problem is, because he came in through the border, he was not inspected, he was not admitted. So he's going to need to file a waiver. And that waiver has to show that his U.S. citizen spouse or green card holder spouse will suffer extreme hardship if he's not allowed to stay here. And then when that waiver is approved, then he would have to go back to his own country and consular process to come back. All right, let's go. Keep going. All right, I have a couple more minutes. All right, no questions today. You guys Let's see. Just looking through. I'm not going to answer any more questions about whether Nigerians can apply for the lottery. The answer is no, no, no. Please check the travel.state.gov. It will tell you all the countries that qualify to apply. So Issa says, I need to get back my green card, but I need to get rid of my criminal record first. I'm looking for a criminal lawyer. Yeah, so Issa, depending on the crime, because certain crimes definitely make you inadmissible. Typically, most crimes will make you inadmissible. Yeah, and if you're inadmissible, you're not going to get a green card. So sometimes reaching out to a criminal lawyer to go back and, I guess go back and reopen that old criminal case might help. But an expungement is not going to help if that's what you're thinking. An expungement does not work because immigration sees everything. All right. So, if I think you might benefit from talking to an immigration lawyer to see whether your crime makes you inadmissible and whether anything can be done with that. Okay. So, Prince says, I have married my wife for 5 years and just got my 10 years green card without a 2 years conditional green card. My question is, when am I qualified to naturalize? Congratulations, Prince. So you've gotten a 10-year green card. If you are still living with your wife, deliriously happy, okay, that's I'm joking, but if you're still living with your wife and you're in you're in a good marital state, you qualify after 3 years. So 3 years of having your green card, 90 days before then, you should apply, or within 90 days of the third year of having your green card, you can qualify to apply for naturalization. All right. Now, if God forbid that relationship doesn't work out anymore, then you have to wait for 5 years. All right. So it's not how long you've been married to your wife that determines when it's not how long, it's how long you've had the green card. So you've had the green card and you're still with your wife for 3 years, then you can file to naturalize. Okay. All right. So John says, I have my work permit. Do I apply for Social Security? Yes, if you have your work permit, you can definitely go to Social Security office and request get your Social Security number. A lot of times it just comes with it, but if it hasn't come with it, just go to Social Security office. It's the same number they're going to give you anyway. It's not going to be different from anyone that they were going to send to you. So go ahead, okay? Somebody says, can you please pin the number to call? I don't know how to pin, but I can give you the number, 973-993-1900. If you go to my page, my own page with the verified check mark, it will give you the number. It's 973-993-1900. So Lotana says, I've been waiting for my work authorization on VAWA, which I filed since January 2023. I only received the receipt. What must be the delay? Well, Lotana, the thing is, the VAWA work permits actually take a little longer than the work permits you get when you file through an I-130. At least that's what I've seen. So the VAWA work permits typically would take 6 to 10 months. So if you filed in January and it's now month 10, I'm predicting that you're probably going to get your work authorization anytime soon. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you for joining me, and it was fun. So I'm going to sign out now because I have a meeting in the next 3 minutes. Take care. I'll be back next week. Bye-bye.